For many people, this would just be your run-of-the-mill Bomberman game. For me, well, this is one I grew up with.
Planet Bomber.
For the Game Boy Advance, this is Bomberman Max 2. That takes place on the planet Bomber.
Bomberman and Max.
Where there's a Bomber base, where Bomberman and Max are assigned to protect the peace of the universe. Yeah, the entire freaking universe.
Wait, who's Max?
More on him later.
Okay.
The battle between the Higgy Bandits, led by Mujo, aka Mr. Meanie from Saturn Bomberman,
right,
who wants mastery of the universe, and Bomberman was unfolding day and night.
Oh, the battle.
Can I just say that this is really conceited that Bomberman's plan is shaped after him?
Yeah.
Well, it's like his entire species looks like that.
That is fair. Every bomber looks like that. It's not like in Racer where it was clearly modeled after him, like colorized and like modeled after him in particular. Here it's like Planet Pac-Man or whatever.
Basically, yeah.
Kind of
makes me think like I don't think Pac-Man's planet was ever shaped like Pac-Man, but who do I know?
Maybe I think of something else.
Then again, there was the clown playing Kid Clown. Okay, here we go. I am Mujo of the Higgy Bandits. Okay, let's start Operation Mini.
I was just gonna be like,
okay.
I was gonna be like, all the robots are like, why are you introducing yourselves to us? We know who you are.
He just likes to gloat to himself. Excuse me. The Mini device is set to go. Now, how to lure Bomberman here?
Create an unsolvable maze and leave a bunch of power-ups everywhere?
Oh wait, there they are. And by the way, the two of them are literally... Yeah, which one of these things sticks the fuck out?
I wonder. I gasped to be like, Bomberman. I took a glance to the left. What?
So yeah, that's Max. I'll explain more of him later. Take this!
And oh look, everybody, it's Crash Game Boy Advance.
Something like that, yeah. It has a very similar plot. In fact, I think they came out roughly around the same time.
Wait, we're not gonna let you get away.
Again, they're both saying that because, they couldn't just dedicate lines to both of them. They're just there. Well, it's too late. The machine got shut off. And, of course, in spectacular fashion, well, what do you think it does?
The machine.
Zap.
What's happening? My head is spinning. Where?
Whoa, right.
Cue the shrieking sound effect.
Boom. Who's this guy?
That's Dr. Ein.
Dr. Ein? Okay.
Yeah, Einstein, that kind of guy.
Dr. Ein,
What? What's that? I can't hear you. Can you speak a little louder?
That would be horrible.
Oh my god, a white spider!
Oh no.
Oh god.
Honestly, Max looks like a little stag beetle at times with that freaking helmet.
He kind of does, doesn't he?
A white spider and a stag beetle!
Don't worry, I know just the remedy. Here, I'll send you some cheap knockoff Pokemon.
What the heck is that thing? Okay, you can't just be putting this off. Okay, what is that?
That's Bommy.
Who's Bommy?
You like him? I stole him from the... Clono, that's it. Damn it.
Oh yeah, he does look like a moo.
Kinda does, doesn't
Anyway, okay, time for some splaining to do.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard to Bomberman Max 2 Blue Advance for the Game Boy Advance. Okay, I'll just get right to the point. This is pretty much Bomberman's answer to the Pokemon craze.
I knew it.
Though, thankfully, unlike, say, other Pokemon clones, Bomberman still stays true to his roots. This is still, by and large, a maze-like game where you're laying down bombs. This game runs under a mission objective system. Like in this case, we gotta go find our Carabomb, aka our not Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Okay, and I'm assuming the whole blue-red... It's a blue-red bomber kind of thing going on, blue and red advance?
Something like that, yes, because, with the Blue Advance, you're playing as Bomberman. With the Red Advance, you're playing as Max. Now, the whole thing about Max is, well, he is basically, well... How should I explain this? For the longest time, White Bomberman was always paired up with the Black Bomberman. They seemed like a good enough duo, but by the time the N64 came around, where multiplayer type of games were starting to become a little more passé up until the recent years, they figured that, well, Bomberman having a sidekick that pretty much looks exactly like him, just wasn't gonna cut anymore. So they decided to make a brand new hip and edgy character named Max.
And what game? I'm assuming it was the original Max, not Max 2, that introduced him.
Yeah, the original Bomberman Max. Which, I mean, the only reason why I'm not showing off the original is because it's more or less the same game as this, only a little, well, this game does add more on top of that. And to be fair, the only reason why I'm showing off Bomberman Max 2 is, well, first off, I have a hell of a childhood with this one, and secondly, the story for this game is completely self-contained. You don't need to play the original Bomberman Max to get to know a thing about this game.
That's good.
So what happened? Oh, so this is where the Pokemon aspect comes in, is that you ride on each of the Carapoms, and depending on which one, you get little boosts.
Mm-hmm. They give you a boost in your stats. Like, for example, while you're riding on Pommy, your speed is set to max.
Nice.
You don't, regardless of how many times you may die, or, well, the lack of speed icons you may get.
So how then? How do you swap between Carapoms?
I think you press either the select button or one of the shoulder buttons.
Okay.
Now, another thing about Bomberman Max 2 is that there's branching paths.
Whoa.
Like so. And of course, each of them have their own separate objectives, and there's also three ways to get to the end of the world and fight the boss. As to what the differences are, I honestly don't remember. So
Destroy all soft blocks. Okay.
Seems difficult, Bomberman. I'll help you with this one. He says as he walks around aimlessly.
Like, you mentioned that there was, like, multiple branching paths that you can go through. Is there ever an instance where, like, when you're on a branch, you're locked from going through the other way, or do you have to go through all the different ways to beat the game?
You can pretty much go whatever way you can, but there may be some times where, I guess the best way to put it is that there are some levels where it is possible where you won't be able to go to a new level, but they will allow you to access older stages. Like, you'll know if you're going through a different path if the portal is blue, but if it's red, it means that you're pretty much backtracking.
That's what the branching path was. So you just hop into each. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there any incentive to go back and replay all of the to get all the paths?
For the most part, it's bragging rights, but there are some pathways that do lead to new Carabombs.
Okay. Can Max's bombs hurt us?
I don't think they can. I forget, but our bombs can phase through him, so he's fine.
Okay, that thing's got to go. That thing's mean. Whatever.
But yeah, don't mind him. He's just gonna wander around for the rest of his days. Some hip and new character, I say.
Okay, I like that.
So hip and cool.
But yeah, hip and cool. He's pretty much he's kind of like the Shadow of the Bomberman series.
Yeah, I figured. Or the pretty. Yeah. You were saying Sun Hype?
Or, I was just joking about he's so hip, cool, and edgy, but he's not edgy enough to be brought back in R now, is he?
No.
You say that. Max was brought back in Super Bomberman R as of a update a few months back.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Rats.
They actually added him into the Switch version first.
Gosh dang it.
In fact, I think he was released around the same time when Super Bomberman R got its multi-platform releases.
There. Okay, so that thing can only eat one bomb at a time, and it slows it down when it does. Okay.
Basically.
So you said you grew up with this. So how did dude, that thing sucks.
Ow.
So yeah, you said you grew up with this. Like, so you own this on the original console?
I did. Yeah. Basically how it is that by this time I was actually already pretty well into Bomberman. Like, I got my start with like the 64 games, and then the Game Boy Advance came around. I did try out Bomberman Tournament, which is basically a Bomberman action RPG, which is okay. And then sometime later they released the Bomberman Max 2 game, and I had to try it, and thankfully, I think I got like a discount on it because I was actually trading in a copy of Sonic Adventure 2 that I had at the time.
Oh, wait, so trading in all Sonic Adventure 2?
Or not, it wasn't so much trading in, but let's just say that one of my folks gave me like another copy of the game when I already owned it.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
So I just used the extra money to get this, and Pac-Man World 2.
Good ones. Receive Carabombs. Okay, so we gotta get another one. Oh, jeez. Whoa, so do you have a favorite Carabomb?
My heart will always stick with Pommy, just because he's the most notable of them all.
And good versatile for speed.
I mean, not to mention the fact he was essentially the second primary protagonist of Bomberman 64, The Second Attack.
Oh yeah, are we ever gonna do the 64? Because I've always heard some pretty decent things about that game.
I do want to do Bomberman 64 at some point or another. It's just a matter of if the rumors are true about that N64 classic.
Yeah, we could mention that real quick.
Right.
It could be a pretty decent leak. Is that suddenly out of nowhere on Nintendo's official website, various digital manuals were posted.
And one of them was for Bomberman 64, which honestly came to me as a surprise, because, like, out of all the games I would expect on an N64 Classic, I didn't think they would automatically choose Bomberman 64.
Oh! I forgot that happened. It could have been to honor the passing of his creator.
That's a very good point. Really does suck, too, because his art was really good.
You know, and again, Bomberman 64, I've heard really good things about that one.
Oh, yeah, no, like, it's a great game. It's just... If there's one thing I will say against Bomberman 64 is that it has a kind of a steep learning curve.
What kills those things?
2 bomb blasts.
Okay.
Basically how it is that whenever, like the first time you see them, they're practically walking in a line, but then you blow them up once and then they become discombobulated. So you pretty much gotta blow them up separately.
I need to remember.
Bomberman Max 2 has a pretty weird variety in enemies, especially considering the fact that, well, the theme of the game is that you shrunk. So what else can you deal with aside from, well, really small things like
ants,
bugs and racers, stuff like that.
I need to keep remembering. Oh, nice. I need to keep reminding. It's like every time I see this game, I have to quickly reteach myself all the mechanics because I am not a big expert on. Like, okay, so the bomb power-up upgrades how many bombs you can have on the field at any given time. The fire power-up increases the range at which they will destroy things.
And with that, we found our second Kara bomb.
Sibaloon.
There's an octopus.
That's actually pretty. Actually, looks pretty handy.
Actually, he looks more like a Kraken now that I look at him.
How nice. We can throw right over them. So how strong do some of these Kara bombs get? Like,
I mean, basically, there's like two. Oh, look at that face. There's like 2 things regarding the Kara bombs, like how they are in the field and how they are. You know what? I should at least say this much. Like when you're playing as them in the actual game themselves, the most you really need to care about is, well, the stats they give to you, which, like, again, with Kraken Boy here, you can pretty much pass through bombs. With Pommy, he can pretty much run at max speed, regardless of how many speed items you have, and so on and so forth. And if I'm not mistaken, Max actually gets a different order of.
Oh boy!
What was that?
Mamma mia! But
Is that a Higgy bot?
No, that was a. It's one of those things you like. I forget what they call range roof trains.
Oh,
real
okay.
quick. I wasn't.
Oh, no, now I'm seeing. Now, okay, it looked like a foot at first.
It kind of does.
That was funny.
But I was about to say,
gosh,
it's like
creepy
at first I wasn't sure if you either called it an Iggy train or an Icky train.
No.
Hop on board. Okay, got some more time ice. Oh god, that thing's actually kind of anatomically weird.
Yeah, it's a bullworm.
It can. Oh jeez, it can. Oh, so looking at it, it looks like Pommy's a good Carapon to use like early game before you get all. Oh.
That worm blindsided me.
So it looks like Pommy's a good one to use like when you're first starting off, so you can keep your max speed. But then you might as well just once you get max speed, you may as well just. Yeah, actually, I just noticed. What happens if you get a game over?
You can save your game and pretty much continue from where you left off.
Okay, sorry. Oh, the whole 3% thing, that worried me. Like, you'd have to start over again, then that would suck if it was like a Maximo situation. Oh!
But like I said, there's two uses to the Carabombs. Obviously, you can use them on the field, and the second thing is that, well, you can battle with them.
Yay, Pokemon. So
basically, this pretty much replaces the standard Bomberman multiplayer shenanigans, which I guess may come off as a turnoff to some people, but in its place, we have literal not Pokemon battles.
There's our elemental triangle on the right, I guess.
I'm sorry, Bomberman, but we already have one shallow Pokemon knockoff, and it's called Digimon.
Oh, I was thinking of Monster Rancher.
There's too many. But yeah.
There was a big trend back then. Okay.
So yeah, with the Carabomb battles, all you need to worry about is laying down what you're gonna do. Like, you'll always be in like two sets of attacks, whether it be like your special or just regular attacks or guarding.
Get him.
It treats itself more like a strategy game as opposed to being, well, do whatever you want, really.
Crap. Ow, get him.
Get him! Ow!
Oh, he Oh, okay, so it looks like when you choose a tactic, you pick 2 actions at once. Either you're gonna guard, use this. Okay, so we'll guard. Okay, so he's guarding, but we're also guarding. But now,
look at that! A typical Smash 4 strategy.
Ow! But we were not guarding that time.
Attack.
Huh? It's actually interesting. It's kind of like a. I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's like a double-layered game of rock paper scissors where you have to think 2 steps ahead every time.
That's exactly what it is, and if I'm not mistaken, they did bring this setup back for Bomberman Generations.
We're gonna die
on the GameCube. Yeah, we're gonna die because we were clearly outmatched.
Rats, we melted.
I lose.
But okay, that's fine. Let's be James's favorite.
You mean everyone's favorite?
Well, everyone that's grown up with this game.
And also 64, the second attack.
Well, the Bomberman franchise in general, because like out of all the Carabombs in the game, he's the one that sticks out the most, if only because, well, he actually had a game to himself.
Was
yeah.
Braun as an extra character for our...
No, he wasn't. That would actually have been kind of weird now that I think back on it, because these characters, even though they're called Carabombs, they don't really use bombs.
James, we're about to die.
You say that would be weird, but would it really be any more weird than a Pyramid Head bomber?
I guess not.
Oh,
or you know, an Alucard bomber.
Oh, is it because we're lightning and water isn't good against us?
Basically, it does run on It does run on types.
Oh, so we were just screwed to lose anyway. We won as Palmy though. I mean, we were screwed to lose with frickin' Sibylune, but we did it.
Yeah, basically put, always stick to the winners.
Oh, and are there any between Blue and Red Advance? Are there different Carapoms a la Pokemon in each version?
I think both games do have the exact same Carapoms. It's just more the matter that the order that you get them in is different. Like in Max's case, instead of getting Palmy first, he gets a dragon character named Draco.
That sounds more awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. But I stuck to Blue Advance because this was the version of the Bomberman Max I grew up with. I barely even touched Red Advance.
So, apart from your emulation, what ways can people play this game? If there are any other versions besides owning it or emulation?
I don't think it ever got a release on the Virtual Console, so the only way you could really play it is just either physically or on emulation.
Alrighty.
It didn't get that kind of graceful treatment like Bomberman 64 did, which again still shocked the heck out of me, considering that was released right when the Switch came out, so it was kind of dead on arrival.
Yeah.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our look at on Bomberman Max 2 Blue Advance. Hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned for whatever else we may pull out of our bomber sockets.
Alrighty.
Till next time, guys.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, 5 more years.